first episode of You Should Leave. Are you ready?
Yes.
What does you should leave mean? I think it's twofold. I think that you should leave means either you don't like the way that we look, or maybe you don't agree with the things that we say. Maybe that means you should leave, which is totally okay. I also think that it means, for me also, we've all wanted to leave a situation, whether that be a traumatic situation, a relationship situation, a poor work environment, whatever. And I think a lot of humans have wanted to leave this world. So however you want to take it, only you can decide. But this is the first official podcast of You Should Leave. I am joined by my sister, co-creator and co-host, Bryn.
Hello.
We're going to talk about everything from paranormal experiences to the SWAT team showing up to my dad's funeral.
That is real.
That is real. And his painfully glaring undiagnosed schizophrenia, which is something to this day we're unpacking a little bit. We're going to explore navigating us leaving an ultra-conservative and evangelical upbringing, and how deconstruction has looked for us thus far in our lives. I'm 33, she is 30, which is crazy. We're going to talk about traumatic relationships, mental health, weight loss, and just kind of tell stories that basically should be Lifetime movie worthy, because you just cannot make this shit up.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got for me?
Another thing that I will touch on that's probably a little bit more my wheelhouse is our spiritual journey thus far that I was, in fact, scared to share with my sister at one point. And then we wound up being just as interested in spirituality, the occult, once we've left the church, and the difficulties that's brought. That's probably the thing I'm most excited for.
I love how we both, I'm straight. I'm an ally, but I'm straight.
Ally.
I love how we both had that awkward coming out to each other that we were no longer identified as a Christian.
Yeah.
Like what we would have, back in the day would have called it a lukewarm Christian.
Yeah.
And I had been for a long time, but she kind of came to me with this I have to tell you something kind of energy. And then basically I was like, oh my God, me too. And it was holy shit. It was coming out.
We came out of the closet religiously.
Coming out of the religious psychosis fucking closet.
Yeah, because we had really been in the trenches, especially when our dad passed away. So that's something we'll definitely touch on. But it's something that we're super passionate now about. And I cannot wait to share that.
It's definitely something that it's a big part of my journey as an adult. Is unpacking all. I hate that term, but
deconstruction.
Deconstruction is
it's a term that a lot of people don't like.
Once I found that term, I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So yeah, we're just gonna keep it all. It's gonna be all over the place.
Yeah.
But it will have a tone. There is, I feel like, a niche for
It's
this.
gonna be super eclectic, but the tone of each episode will be its own thing. Sometimes there might be runoff, but our hope is to maybe do certain things that can't be done in one episode in parts.
Yeah.
And then just kind of go from there, kind of have fun with it. I kind of hope that this will be cathartic for other people and just to hear our story. And if only a couple people listen, thanks. I'm excited to just immortalize our life in video.
Cannot emphasize this enough how much we're at least I'm doing this for just to do it. Just
to have it done.
I wrote a book of my poems last year. I went into it knowing no one's gonna fucking buy this. It's literally it's for me. It's for us. This is for us. And we've had this title for 3 fucking years. It started with a joke of me just saying you should leave. That was my tagline on my social media. And I was like, I want to make a podcast titled that. And then we talked about it. I think I created the podcast name first and made an account and then left it. Yeah. And then the other day it was fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the irony, I shared this with you, a friend of mine asked for a tarot reading and a podcast got brought up and I was like, it's so crazy you said that because my sister just brought this up again. And I was like, what interesting timing.
Mercury was in retrograde. It just ended yesterday, so.
Anything's
possible. Okay, but we're going to kick it off lighthearted and fun because it's one of my favorite topics. It's talking about dying.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I told Bryn to come up with a question that was like called like a this or that. Maybe it could be a little more complicated than a this or that. But mine is like kind of a this or that.
Okay.
But
I'm nervous.
I have not made any end of life plans. However, I think about death a lot. It consumes my thoughts. Anyway, it does. But so, you die.
Okay.
Do you want a celebration of life?
Ooh, okay.
Or do you want like true mourning? Like you want all the quintessential sadness?
I think I would rather have a celebration of life because I know that unfortunately, no matter what, I'm going to be... Like, I know the people that love me will miss me when I'm gone. So I'd rather have a day where it's just celebrating all of the good things and all of the memories. Mm-hmm. And because I know that unfortunately they will have to mourn me for the rest of their lives. Give them one day of true celebration.
She's like, it's your last good day.
Yeah, it's your last good day without me.
This is your last good day, so enjoy it while you fucking can. It's like giving like your pet like their final meal.
Okay. Oh, don't do that.
Well, I'm just saying. That's basically, it was just like, it's your last good day.
Yeah, bye. No, I think that's where I would go.
So you want celebration of life, upbeat, like positive.
I mean, like, as much as possible. I'm not expecting you guys to be like, yes, let's go. It's gonna be sad, but at the same time, share fond memories.
Okay.
Instead of just downtrodden energy.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Well, that actually gave me my question, which is actually going to be a little more serious because I thought this was going to be your question when you brought up death.
Oh, okay.
As somebody who says that they're more nihilistic, like yourself, would you...
In a positive way.
I'm not saying it's a negative. Would you rather there truly just be eternally nothing after this?
Yeah.
Okay. Or there be something. Like, not the Christian sense. Would you rather there be a true afterlife? Or would you rather there just be nothing and be like, peace out, I did my time on earth, we're done?
I'm fine if there's nothing after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm fine with there being nothing after this. I wouldn't be sad if like I was acquainted with people who I love and have lost. I certainly don't want to see some fucking people, so I hope there's some like
barriers
and preliminaries.
Do I get to choose who I hang out with in the afterlife?
Yeah. So, yeah. But I'm totally fucking at peace that there is nothing.
Interesting.
Are you?
Actually, the irony that you asked me anything to do with death, mortality is my biggest fear, as it is a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's like ever just constantly thinking like I'm horrified of the idea of death. And I actually had an interesting conversation, like talking about my lack of wanting children and like my fear of simultaneously of both literally coming into this life and leaving this life are my biggest fears in any capacity.
Well, you got through birth.
Yeah. So I'm not having that. Yeah. I don't want to deal with that.
No, I mean like you got in here at least.
We made it somehow.
Okay. Interesting. Wait, so you what do you think?
I'm fine with either, but I think there is an inkling of hope that there's something more because this life does feel so strange and fleeting. I want there to be something, but I'm not going to be... Obviously, I mean, if I just cease to exist, I can't be disappointed.
You're just a hopeful...
Yeah.
Hopeful.
I'm more agnostic. You're more just straight up atheist at this point, I feel like.
I bounce hard and back and forth about how I feel about that because... Yes, we could say, like, the term nihilism is appropriate, but I feel like the term nihilism gets a really negative connotation of nothing matters, everything's pointless, and people, I think, okay, so you're, like, a heathen, you just are, I don't know what the word would be, but...
They tend to think that people who are nihilistic lack morals.
And I'm a very moral compass, and principle is very important to me, so I like, that's why I'm like, positive nihilism. Because I'm like, I want to do as much good as I can while I'm here. And
you want it to mean something.
I want it to mean something. And I think as long as it means something to you and the people and what you do means thing to
Mhm.
them, then I guess there's your fucking meaning of life. But as far as like what happens after this, I do have a very I don't want to say negative, but I just think it is what it is.
Do you
And if you want to spend
ultimately think that your nihilism has actually helped your deconstruction?
a little bit, because I'll be honest, I don't play the but what if game as much, despite my intrusive thinking and obsessive compulsive thought processes. I definitely don't think about it as much, because to me at this point right now today, I feel like the idea that there is an afterlife is the most silly thing. A heaven, excuse me, in the biblical sense, a heaven and a hell. I feel like it's so silly. It's so silly to me.
And I think, I mean, and this could be a topic
and that's my
for a whole other, and this is going to be probably its own whole episode, but just touching on the heaven and hell thing, being in today's age with everything going on, just having the understanding from where we grew up, being just my simple lack of belief getting me the same place as somebody who is vile and evil, I cannot reconcile those two things. And for me, it does feel kind of just ridiculous to think about as a whole. Like, oh, you will get eternal greatness, whereas people who were objectively better people than you, or kinder people than you, more giving, more generous, more just loving, more Christ-like, quote unquote, would be the ones rotting in hell. So for me, it's just ridiculous thought.
Well, let's just play devil's advocate. Is that, let's say let's just go really extremes. So just to make the point, should, let's say, a murderer or a pedophile, because to me pedophilia is it's the most heinous thing. It's the most heinous thing I feel like that can happen. And to do that to an innocent child is unfathomable. So let's use a pedophile. Let's say they repent. They did really no good in their life. They put no good into this world, and if anything, they put more bad out into this world than anything. But let's say they find Christ. They get saved. By all biblical standards, they should go to heaven. You know, they admitted their faults. They accepted Christ as their savior. They're atoning for their sins. And don't even get me started on people who lived a shitty life and then suddenly find God. I could go all day. But let's say they repent and they become a practicing Christian, and let's say someone like who just never was raised religious is not severely against it in any capacity, just indifferent, but is, I don't know, a philanthropist, like, and just does things, charities. Just think of that. You're telling me that they will burn in eternal damnation, but this other person would not. I just feel like that's insane.
I know there was some caveat to that, because I remember people are like, well, if they didn't know God, then they kind of, it's a different thing or whatever. But if you choose to leave God, that's different too. I still ultimately think that the argument should remain the same, though, that if I choose that I don't feel like organized religion is for me, and unfortunately we live in Western society, so Christianity is the main one. I know a lot of people are like, you left, why can't you leave us alone? Why can't you stop talking about it? Because you're still bombarding. The most intrusive modern day religion I seem to stumble across. I don't know any pagans or I don't know anybody else knocking down doors and passing out pamphlets and just bleeding your beliefs, which you are entirely entitled to, onto everyone around you, and everyone else has to stomach it. It really is crazy to me. And these are just the tiny threads that started to get pulled for me, like, in the last 4 or 5 years, that made me go, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, fully unraveling. Unraveling. I don't know if I told you, but at my job, I work at a spiritual shop, and somebody did give my manager a pamphlet saying Jesus loves you just a couple days ago.
Can you imagine walking into a Christian bookstore, which we used to frequent growing up? My dad, that was a common occurrence. Can you imagine walking in there and saying, "Hi, I'd really like to, do a tarot spread for you,"
Right.
or "I just felt this energy leading me to you." That's insanity.
And well, I will say, and don't get us wrong, I have a big issue when people are like reaching out like that in the New Age spirituality.
I will say a lot of those are riddled with scams and just want your fucking money.
That's going to be a whole other episode that I'm going to talk about with like watered down spirituality in general.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Just mind their fucking business.
Just enjoy your life.
Just stop.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
The reality is, and I feel this way on so many different things, but like if you have to constantly try and convince everything outside of you, everyone, your friends, your family, the internet, whatever, that you are something, there's a very good fucking chance you're not that thing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to work. People should be able to look at you within reason and just, or experience your being and be like, okay,
you get a good energy off them and their personality.
If you have to be performative in every aspect, you're probably just a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, this got interesting and segued into this. What did we want to share first? Because there was some stories we wanted to start and just kind of get our foot in the door with people understanding our life was genuinely crazy and see if this is going to be a time for you.
Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to name the first episode podcast title either Dad Canceled Christmas or Please Don't Go.
Please don't leave.
Please don't leave. So, I mean, let's just dive in a little bit on our upbringing. So
okay.
I'll give my synopsis.
You start because I'm super interested because sometimes we don't talk about like childhood in that way very much.
So fun fact about me, I just started therapy. Because it is a purgatory in my brain. Do I know that I was probably born with certain things? Sure, because there's definitely been attributes rooted, I can remember all the way back to like 3 or 4 years old. I've been properly diagnosed with type 2 bipolar disorder and obsessive compulsive, and I don't mean I have OCD in the sense of, 1, 2, 3, I have to turn the light switch off. Not that that's not a real thing for some people, but I think that's, or like everything has to be organized. That's not me. My thing is very ritualistic, and that's another thing we will be talking about in the way I feel like my devout feelings towards religion and being a devout Christian for well over a majority of my life did not help my intrusive way of thinking and this constant idea of pleasing a deity, which is the most important part for me as far as getting away from religion. Not to touch back on this really quickly.
It ties heavily into it.
Is that I do not worship any deity. I do not believe that there is any higher power, in my personal opinion, and it's important that I do not do that. But anyway, so we grew up in a very small town, an old farmhouse. My mom passed away when we were 10. When I was 10, she was 7. And then we were left with our dad. Our dad was always like a kooky guy, but like I like to say I had a great childhood until Mom got cancer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it was fun. We lived outside. We didn't have lots of friends. We were homeschooled.
Yeah.
We were very involved in
Didn't
church.
help.
Very involved in church and stuff. And like, yeah. So my mom was like the glue. My mom was a small business owner. She was a candy maker and a caterer. She also helped my dad run his own business. And she was also a stay-at-home mom. She did the taxes. She cooked. She cleaned. She raised the kids. She homeschooled us. She was involved in church. If she met you once, she would never forget your birthday. You would get a card from her for the rest of your life. My mom was the do-all, like the OG. She would never have called herself a feminist, but my mom was a feminist. My mom did everything. I know I probably idealized her, and I know she was flawed in ways, but my mom was a boss ass bitch, like by today's standards. So when she died, it was just my dad and us, and it got weird.
It did. It spiraled rather quickly.
He did nothing to preserve familiarity and routine.
Any sense of normalcy.
Keep in mind, we are 7 and 10, so we are little kids. Like, you don't realize just how little. Woo! I got it. Well, blooper for our first blooper. You don't realize how. You don't realize how young you were until, like, you just get farther and farther away. And now when I see a 10-year-old, I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, like the stuff that we had to deal with at that age.
So when I come up with the title, Dad Canceled Christmas, Dad did in fact cancel Christmas. Yeah. I don't know if it was the first year.
It was either the first year or the second year.
I think it was the second year. And he claimed he was grounding us. Do you really ground a fucking 11-year-old and a 9-year-old or an 8-year-old from putting up he was like, no tree. Mm-hmm. We didn't put up the tree. One year, I took a tree out of the dumpster from his job and brought it home.
I don't remember that. There's so many things that you're going to tell that I genuinely don't remember.
It just gets sad.
It does.
Like, yes, I had a dumpster Christmas tree, and I put it in my room because there was no common area. Also, our dad was a tremendous hoarder.
Yeah.
A tremendous hoarder. He pretty much just went off the deep end and drug us along with him. Yeah. Not to say, I also want to say this, I miss my dad terribly. We're not going to get sad. He was funny as fuck. He was smart as shit. He was one of those crazy smart people. Like, mentally fucking crazy, but also wildly intelligent, so it was hard to always argue with him.
The mad scientist vibes were there.
Right. Looked like a mad scientist.
He did.
But, like, I miss my dad terribly, but he was a deeply flawed individual.
Yeah.
And just did not preserve our childhood. He did not do that. So, through that, it just became a really wildly, not hostile, sometimes hostile environment.
It got hostile in the later years towards your adulthood.
Yeah. He started to exhibit, like, signs of psychosis. Which
and not even just religious psychosis, just overall, just devolving mentally, rapidly.
And, like, if I resurface, like, my childhood, I feel like it was always there. He's just a peculiar guy.
Yeah.
And then I see myself do some of those things.
Well, I mean, and stuff that we can get in deeper for Dad at some point is Dad was very unwell, and there's going to be a story that I share that kind of touches on that, but he, the way he was raised, he was abused as a child, both mentally and physically.
He was not set up for success in any way himself.
No, he wasn't. He also had a lot of drug issues in his earlier 20s. And really damaged his brain. I think he probably also had other mental illnesses underlying, but coupled with damage in his brain with alcohol and drug abuse throughout the years, it definitely didn't do him any favors. And I think losing our mom and, like, his best friend was just the final nail in the coffin for him to just slowly start unraveling.
Yeah. I say we share the SWAT team coming to.
I think that, yeah.
Coming to his funeral.
Having that little inkling of understanding and just context will make this never as funny as it is to us and the friends who had seen him from childhood.
Yeah.
But it might get a little chuckle.
Okay. Do you want me to?
You do it, because you tell from your perspective, because I know your perspective is going to be a lot different than mine.
Okay. So he had passed. And it was sudden. We can talk about, what all happened. But long story short, he had a stroke like a year and a half prior to this. Mm-hmm. He never regained, like, full ability to use the right side of his body. He was half blind. Like, so he was in long-term care for the remainder, hospice in the remainder of his life. However, when he died, we were it was out of left field.
He was well enough up until that point.
It was really peculiar.
He had an infection and it just
spiraled. He went septic and his blood pressure just plummeted. Yeah. So another thing, we're completely estranged from both sides of our parents' family. Mm-hmm. we do not talk to anyone on mom's side. And we fuck with a cousin and my aunt and her husband and my uncle.
Yeah, they're the only ones that we still
That's
stay
it.
in contact with.
For context, my dad had 8 siblings, 6 which are living.
Yeah.
I have a fuck ton of cousins, and we don't talk, which is fine. But so there's no family dynamic. I have my friends are my family,
Yeah.
and I mean we have friends who literally been friends with for 15, 18, 10 years. You know, like a long
basically
time.
adopted as our siblings at this point.
Right. These are people who have been in our lives, so they've seen everything from, for me, 14 years on.
Yeah.
So the funeral comes. And it gets through the grapevine because of the powers that be and the people who know people. It gets back to my mom's brother. Yes, that is my uncle, but I'm just going to call him my mom's brother. And his family. And then my mom's dad, so what would be my grandpa. And they want to come. So that adds a different element to this as well. Obviously, we're old enough that we aren't orphans, but it's very like, I'm Batman. We have, both of our parents are gone.
Right.
It feels very lonely and isolating.
Right. Another just little context, the family that wanted to come wasn't close with him, and I don't really know their relationship being all that great, even as when we were kids.
You mean
Dad and them?
Mom's brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was strained as well, so it was a bit.
Mind you, I don't know that I had really seen them since our last parents' funeral.
Yeah, it had been
Mom
15 years.
Mom died in 2003, Dad died in 2018. You
Yeah.
do the fucking math.
It had been 15 years, so yeah.
It was bizarre. So anyway, that adds a whole other element to this. So obviously no one wants to be at their fucking dad's funeral when they're in their 20s. It's just not what you envision.
Right.
My awesome ass cousin came, who was only like 21.
Yeah, drove all the way down from Pennsylvania.
All the way down from Pennsylvania just to be there physically. Like,
took off college, wrote it out to his professor, was like, hey, I need to go be with my, he called us his siblings.
Yeah.
So.
And he was our only blood relative there. The rest, like I said, are like our friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of did like a memorial kind of celebration of life thing at the church I was still associated with, but just didn't attend anymore. I have adoptive parents. They basically were like the building block.
Your lifeline as a teenager.
Yeah, as a teenager. So they're crucial to the story as well. So the funeral's happening. I'm sneaking whiskey and lemonade in the church kitchen to calm my fucking nerves because that's all they had. I brought the flask. That's all they had for a mixer.
Don't worry, I drove.
Yeah. And I had prepared a eulogy and everything, and like people are getting there. Again, I don't really remember where you are. I just remember kind of conversing with different people.
I was getting ridiculed by our grandfather.
Oh, yes. Ah!
By my grandfather and my step grandmother.
3 wives.
Rest his soul. He's gone now as well. But yeah, whatever.
Hasn't seen her in like 15 fucking years and is giving her shit. Well, where do you go to church? I swear if I had been there.
My hair was also black and red.
We are in a church now.
Yeah.
She wanted. Dad's been dead 72 hours and she's giving Bryn shit about the color of her hair. Like, touch fucking grass. Anyway. Cunt. Seriously.
I know. I just was saying, I was getting ridiculed. You were off wherever. I know my boss at the time, who had kind of been a really good mother figure, not necessarily a mother figure, but like a great woman figure in my life, from where I worked at the time. She came there to comfort me because she also knew my dad and knew the struggles, and because that's where I was working when he had his stroke. And she was just such a good person. Like, she showed up and was there for me. She also did mention, she's like, where the heck is my, at the time, fiance? He didn't want to come, so he didn't come.
I forgot about that.
Now,
men in our life, back then, vile.
I loved her face. She gave me such a mom face of being like, come on now.
Mind you, you'd been together like 7 years at that point.
Yeah.
This is not a like
6 years, yeah.
Okay. A moment of fucking silence, because sometimes even I forget how fucking bad it was.
Yeah. Well, he also was about a week later, and I just was still really down in the dumps about Dad. He was like, are we gonna get over this soon?
Wait, what's his face said? So I got in a relationship like 8 months prior to this. My first big girl relationship. My dad had literally been gone less than a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we were long distance. We were on the phone, and I mean, he called me, and I mean, I'm not blubbering in the phone, but I'm clearly crying, and like, it's just quiet. And really all I just needed was someone to just be on the other line. That's all I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And finally he was like, you know, I really just miss my friend. Like, he's gone. Like, you really just need to
get over
kind of move. I don't know what what words were said, but it was like, move on. I'm like,
yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating. So, wow, okay.
Not the way I treated him when his grandma passed, either.
Right.
Too.
Right. Not that I'm not here to say anyone's grief is insurmountable.
No, definitely not.
However, when your 94-year-old grandmother passes,
it's very different than your 60-something-year-old dad.
Yeah. And you have no other family.
Not trying to tit for tat. We'll get back on the story. But yes, he didn't show up because he didn't want to come.
So the SWAT team shows up to my dad's funeral. Let's talk about how we got there. So there's some like rumblings going on. I can hear people like talking about something, like clearly like there's an energy shift, but I'm, you know, wrapped up in my nonsense. And I think finally I hear that there's SWAT cars or like a police hostage situation outside. So for context, there is a house owned by the church that throughout the years of me going there, they would lease out to families who needed help or at the time, not at this time. There would sometimes like the youth pastor would live there or whatever. So it was owned by the church. I don't know what the story was with this family particularly, but there was a hostage situation on the rise. So I'm like not thinking, just like, oh my God. So I go out there with my phone to like try and get a picture. Well, Noel and Heather, that's my mom and dad. Noel is like, pulls me in. He's like, stop. He's like, just delete that picture. You can't post that or you can't send that. He's like, they have, I don't know, they're tracking the towers or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a hostage situation. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that's serious. I believe that, so Heather and Noel were kind of like probably keeping things way calmer because trying to not worry us.
Diffuse the situation.
Right.
Bless their hearts, seriously.
So I'm pretty sure by that point, it had been said to everybody, you should go and just stay inside.
Mm-hmm.
So we proceed with the memorial, whatever. So I give a eulogy. We do a situation where we allow people who would like to get up and share something if they want to, just open mic kind of situation.
Yeah, like some of his friends, loosely friends, we'll say that.
People who loved us and were in support of my family.
There was a couple people that just simply knew him that did come.
Yeah, and it was, I would say 90% of it was awesome. Yeah. When my mom's brother got up and spoke, it was wildly inappropriate in my opinion. Just because we hadn't really conversed in almost 15 years, hardly. I don't sure that we had seen them for sure in 15 years. And wanted to get up and act like we should all just be a family and like, we just need to stick together. Basically the same speech that was given at my mom's funeral. Mm-hmm. And then talking about how we don't have any money, but we're here for you, as if we've ever asked. Mind you,
they were laying it on thick with the money thing.
It was like, really
we never asked.
Very uncomfortable and kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we don't know you. We essentially, I understand maybe you're here for yourself or as a sign of respect. I don't know. That's between you and yourself. But like, we're good without you. We've made it thus far. Mm-hmm. And I mean, again, you're in a room full of people who do know us, who have been in our lives since,
have helped us in so many different ways.
And they're like, who the fuck are these? Like, basically, like, there's like, who is this? It was really bizarre. But other than that uncomfortable situation and like basically my mom's family being concerned about everything other than what actually matters.
You mentioned the I'm Batman thing earlier. One of them did say, we're in our early mid-20s now.
They keep saying
they're orphans.
They're orphans. I'm like,
this is a weird thing to say right now. You're making it worse. Please stop.
Somehow you're making this worse. So yeah, it was like a whole thing. But so I think things kind of end. I give my eulogy. We talk, and we kind of are wrapping things up. But there's a tone that things are still going on outside, and now they're worse than they were. And people want to start leaving. Well, Heather kind of takes the lead and says that the SWAT team and the police are saying that people cannot leave. Mm-hmm. So that's crazy. And there are older people who have quite a drive to go back home, who are a couple hours away. Like my mom's dad, he's blind. My uncle, he's legally blind. So like their wives are basically taking
their
care,
caretaker.
Their caretaker, and it's just late. People want to go home. It's not a party. It's a
Yeah.
fucking funeral. The night's over. I want to go home and fucking get drunk. Like, and so it gets weird. And eventually the police need to come inside to use a landline, I guess, to communicate with this hostage situation. So this man apparently has his family either at gunpoint or knife point or something like that.
I do remember hearing that it was like a gun. Like it was being threatening his
we
family
have
with a gun.
So I snuck because at the time my fucking stupid boyfriend pretty much assumed I was always cheating on him and just never believed me when I said anything. So I remember taking a video of like the ground and recording the police's feet. You can see like an AR-15's nose pointed down at the ground.
Yeah.
And I did get video later, like after they did let us leave, of like all the police around the house, and they had blocked off different roads. Mind you, we live in the country, so like they're blocking off like country roads so no one can turn down them.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, we had to. They're like, get onto this road and don't turn your lights on until you are away.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, so it was definitely serious. So they were like, nobody can leave. They needed a landline. Heather got them a landline. Eventually, they started letting certain people go if they were escorted by police to their cars. Mm-hmm. And then I guess they did what you just said. Like,
yeah, they were like, okay, you can. I'm gonna walk you to your car. Do not turn your headlights on until you're on down this road, in case he's like out or something or gets out, because they don't want them to like, they didn't want the cops to get confused and try and attack the person trying to leave the funeral.
Yeah. So eventually, we're some of the last people we were able to leave. We just had to like leave stuff behind, which is fine. But we got in our car with our cousin, and we were meeting up with Danielle and Steven after to go back to my dad's house, which is down the road. This is our childhood home, which was we had to break into because it was already locked up, and like the sheriff put a thing on there.
Loosely locked up too, because the door was broken. I don't think they knew that. It was already broken.
So the house was in foreclosure, is the whole thing, and it's a hoarder home. It's inhabitable. Like it's inhabitable. But that's where we were gonna go after. Just because it's our home,
Any last few things we could find, our hope to maybe find any last minute pictures. I took videos of the house,
like
and the state it was in, and just like left some commentary as just proof if any of maybe his family or anybody who maybe didn't believe us how bad it was, especially toward the end. Just videos of piles and piles and piles of things. Yeah. There was black mold.
There was stuff,
walls were torn out.
On top of
you could stand on tiles
and touch
books.
The ceiling.
Yeah. And then I distinctly remember because David and Steven were upstairs, and I came down and took a video of the cellar area, which
basement.
The
if
basement.
You can even call it.
Yeah.
This basement belongs in The Conjuring.
Yeah, it was. If that's not where a portal to hell is, I don't know. But I was down there recording, and I just all of a sudden hear, this is where it gets funny, kind of. I just hear Steven, he's out! and he's like freaking out, because apparently there was like a notice that the person that the cops and SWAT team were looking for, he was at large. And this is, there's no way he ran to our house. There's no way he ran it, but Steven was like, he's coming to get us. Like, he's like actually paranoid. I don't know if he had been drinking that night too.
No, that's just him.
He is a little, he's hilarious. We love Steven. But he's like, he's coming. And then like, he's getting like David amped. So I come back upstairs and we're like, he's like, it's fine.
I didn't know they were high.
Oh, they were. There you go. That's right.
I forgot because he brought a weed pen.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, either way, that was when it got particularly funny. We were like, it's fine. I'm like, it would only be the best night in the world. Like, our paranoid dad, who always thought someone was out to get him, cops show up at his funeral. That was the most ironic.
My dad kicked me out of the house at 18 years old because he thought I was in a plot to kill him with the town.
He thought the microwaves listened to us. That people were reading his emails that he would send to himself. Yeah. It's not funny, but you have to laugh.
He thought the whole town was in on to kill him, to take his house, he knew something, the government, all the things. And that's what made his funeral so fucking funny, is that the town, the cops that he thought were in on trying to kill him, he thought the mob gave him a stroke.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I didn't. Because my ex was very Italian. Their family was very Italian. Like, his grandfather was from Sicily. And I remember Dad being like, I don't like so-and-so's profile picture on Facebook because it was like an old mobster. I don't even fucking know what mobster it was. But I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, oh my fucking God. So that's what makes a SWAT team literally barging down the door with ARs in the middle of a church on his funeral.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it would happen.
It would. Steve. It would.
So, long story short, no one died. No one was hurt.
Yeah, fortunately they got him.
They got him. Like, it was okay. It was just like the dumbest, most of fucking course.
Yeah,
could
like
we just have a moment
night.
of peace and no trauma? Nothing to like, I should seek therapy and talk through down the road, please?
Right.
Yeah. So. And then just like all the behaviors of Mom's family. Again, it was just tacky.
It was really made to feel like they were making it about themselves, and that was just really frustrating because like most of our lives, nothing had got to be about us. It had always been about everyone else.
I don't want it to be about us.
No. But you know what I mean.
This leads me into something.
Okay. But
we're going back to talk about.
We had never just got to be in our own sadness or our own grief. It was always, woe is me. You need
very
to do
attention seeking. I hate a bitch who, when someone dies, they act like they were their best friend.
Our own mom's mom at her funeral, sat up there on a little bench, weeping and crying while her grandchildren are in the back, just being quiet.
It was
and
weird.
Just like throwing herself over and being like, oh my God, like, and so many people like at our mom's funeral shared more in their talks, in their eulogies about our grandmother than even our mom, some of them. And it was like, why are you even talking?
It was just a show.
You
know how those church people are.
It was such a sham.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Oh, my funeral. Listen, if I die, especially if I die young, like objectively, first of all, if anyone who doesn't currently, on the regular, speak to me, see me, cheer me on, support me, and vice versa, don't fabricate a relationship we don't have. If you show up to my fucking funeral, teary-eyed, she was my best fucking friend, I knew her when, sad, using my death for clout, tell that motherfucker to get the fuck out. I hate it. I hate it now. I kind of hate when people post, like, when celebrities die. I'm like,
oh my God, I'm gonna miss you. It just feels really cringy.
The only okay one is gonna be like when Harrison Ford dies, or like,
well, we were upset when Carrie Fisher died.
Valid. But
it's
every
weird
time
to make
someone
it about
fucking
you.
dies, like, it's just like, dude, don't show up. I have people who
You're
will
gonna peek the
fucking
mic.
tell you. I will have people who fucking tell you to leave. Also, if you come to my
There'll be a bodyguard.
If you come to my funeral and you try and pray or do anything about she's in heaven or she's an angel now
Or she's in hell, even.
anything, make a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Promise?
Yeah. We're
a-
hosting a ritual. I don't know what you're talking about.
so serious. And throw the skull to find out who dies next. I've been saying that for years.
I know you
I
have.
tried to do that at my fucking wedding. Brandon wouldn't let me. And don't let people edit me into a picture with this with the clouds.
Oh my god. Who does that? Is that
You
a thing?
haven't seen
Like,
it?
no, and I'm glad.
That's been a thing forever.
I don't know. I don't
Don't
want.
do that.
That's dumb.
Spit on my fucking grave. Please don't do that. Please.
Pour one out. I don't care. Just don't do that. I mean, we did that for Dad.
Yeah.
We listened to The Parting Glass and then poured some Yingling out on his
party. No, I'll pay you if you know the song The Parting Glass. There's no way you know, unless, I mean, if you're from America. Unless you are like really rooted into your Irish nonsense. It's an Irish movie. Is the movie called The Parting Glass?
No, the song is just called The Parting Glass. It's
what's the movie called? He wins the lottery.
Yeah, it's something like
And
The
then he
Wake
dies.
or something.
No,
I can't remember. Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's a
I don't
song
know
called
about
The Parting Glass. And it will make you fucking cry.
It's a great song. I listen to it when I need a good cry.
I haven't listened to it in a long time. It will make you cry. Some about bagpipes makes me
Instant.
tears.
Oh, Tommy Boy. I'll watch it. The Dad's Funeral. Instantly.
I can't watch.
I
I will never watch that again. I was at someone's house a couple years ago. I think it was a holiday or something. I was like,
Can't do it.
can't do this. Turn this off. No.
I cry always at the during certain parts of Lord of the Rings. Just the music in general just makes me cry.
You know what song makes me fucking cry? I love shit like this. I love duality. I love when things sound happy and are fucking miserable, and vice versa. When I hear "All Around the World" by Daft Punk, I go into a bout of psychosis. Would you like to know why?
Why?
Because when my sister called me,
when
you called me,
oh god,
to tell me that Dad was unconscious and he never woke up.
oh, was that what you were listening to at the gym?
I was on the Stairmaster at the gym, trying to lose weight at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to All Around the World by Daft Punk. So after he died, I was a high-functioning alcoholic. I had a job, I got up, I went to work, but there were some mornings when I woke up at 7 a.m. and I was still drunk. But I would just get obliterated and listening to All Around the World on fucking repeat.
God.
Which you should know how insane that is, because it's a 7.5 minute long song and it's basically around the world, around, it's
Just
literally for 7 fucking minutes. Tears streaming down my face.
Oh my god.
Dancing.
I had no idea. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is segueing back to much earlier of the topic, essentially. But when I called you to tell you about Dad, well, I remember distinctly, just all of a sudden my just gut plummeting because we were supposed to have seen Dad that day, and he called that morning and that he wasn't feeling good, and
he said
not to come see him, which
we were down the street. We were literally down the street though.
No, but then we were, but then the next
I can't
day.
eat Long John Silver's
I know.
I can't eat Long John Silver's because,
and still to this day, I don't know why that's where we went to eat, but that's where we did. But still to this day, though, every once in a while, I'm like, oh my fucking god, are you joking? Because he called that morning, and now, granted, we haven't really touched too much on how stressful the time during his long-term care and the way he still was really mentally abusive during that time.
Yeah. And it was just us.
Yeah.
It was literally
his family didn't.
Again, one of those things, you don't realize how young you are until you're like out of it and away from it.
I was 22 when he died.
25. Imagine being 20 and you're like 23, 24 trying to like navigate your dad
with no family.
Stroke. He has no end of life decisions, no insurance, no health insurance. He's never been to a doctor, all these different things.
Yeah.
And you just have to figure it out by yourself.
And yeah, and I'm very grateful for the couple people that when we got him to the long-term care, the woman that helped us was really understanding. She actually, in her 40s, had actually suffered a stroke. So she had a lot of understanding. But anywho, we were supposed to have seen them that day. He wasn't feeling good. He would call us incessantly. Nothing was ever good enough. You know, and so a lot of times I would ignore his calls and he would call 20 times a day. Like, it wasn't just me being mean.
Back to back to back voicemails. I mean, you'd be at work, he would call you sometimes 15 times in a row.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm at my work. I can't, just drop what I'm doing. But he called, and I was relieved. And still this day, every once in a while, I'm like, I felt so guilty for feeling relieved that was going to be the last time that I saw my dad conscious. And so I'm super grateful to the nurse that called us, though, because our dad was on hospice because he wasn't doing well because at first, like, it was 6 months prior to this, he had gotten MRSA. And was
longer than that. That's what made this so fucked up.
It was at least, at minimum,
he almost had died the prior October.
Yeah, like, he was not well. Like, he had been not good, but we put him on hospice because he didn't want to accept care. But when he got on hospice, he was getting the care that he wanted. And so he started to do a lot better. And he had been better for months. Like, he had actually been doing okay. And then so he basically, the MRSA had come back and the infection, and he went septic. And so, but because he's on hospice, realistically, like, they're not trying to keep him alive. But the nurse called, they were like, hey, like, he was totally fine half hour ago. Now he's completely unresponsive, and we have him on, like, a portable ventilator because this is, like, a nursing home. So I'm grateful that she even called, because realistically, seeing that he's on hospice, they didn't have to, like, really say anything else but, like, hey, like, he's probably just going to pass.
Well, honestly, the most traumatic part of it that sometimes I forget went down because we were like, he needs to go to the hospital.
Right.
And
we honestly almost forgot that he was on hospice because he was just doing fine for so long.
I feel like we were tricked to sign him up for hospice.
I agree.
Because that was not a man who was dying. My dad was never going to live by himself again, but my dad was not dying. Like, he was a pain in the ass, but he could have lived, I feel like, into his 70s if he hadn't gotten that infection.
Yeah.
So when that happened, they called, the hospital, and they sent a EMS vehicle, and they were the first responders.
Mm-hmm. No, but the only reason a nurse even called was that nurse had happened to be the mom of a girl that was in our grief counseling when our mother passed away.
It was so kismet. It was so, like, the stars, whatever you want to say it was, it was crazy.
There was no other way for it to have happened.
Goodness for that woman, because obviously the outcome still sucked, but what regret But
it gave us a chance. It gave us, like...
Well, it felt so like they were, like, saying, too bad your dad's dead.
Yeah. Like, the EMT said, like, why did you call us? This is supposed to happen.
Yeah, he was very callous at first, and he ended up, because you were beside yourself.
I couldn't.
He eventually, like, apologized. And I mean, I didn't understand. Again,
we didn't understand. Like,
we didn't understand. I'm not even sure I knew what hospice meant back then.
I mean...
Embarrassing. But not embarrassing, because I'm not going to feel bad that I didn't fucking know what hospice meant. But, like, I'm just saying, like, we were so... It was so crazy. But no, that woman is incredible for doing that. Yeah. She gave us a fighting chance. And she was so, like...
It did give us more time to process
I've watched these girls since they were this young. She was like, they've already lost one parent. They're not... This is not going to happen. Yeah. So, you're a badass bitch. Even though you probably will never...
No, that we're talking about, yeah. Know that we're putting it in the world for you, that you're great.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, whew.
Yeah, I think the other thing is that it did give us, at the very least, more time to come to terms with it, to also, like, call the couple people that did care, like, on it, like, his one sister.
Like we did something.
Yeah,
we did. Proactive, like...
We did everything that we allowed the doctors to do, everything that they could, and they did try.
And they still had to, like, be like, guys, it's not. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah,
You know,
they
like-
weren't cruel about it, like, but they did, like, toward
But
the
they
end.
sent the head honcho down.
They did. They were like,
Like,
there's really nothing
Homie
we
came
can
down
do.
in a suit kind of doctor, like, clearly took the time to be like,
He's gone.
He's gone. He's breathing, but not on his own. Like, he's not in there anymore.
Yeah.
So that was I love horror movies. I am totally comfortable with death. No horror movie I've ever watched can ever compare to the sounds of someone dying. There is nothing that holds a candle to that. And I know I have a smile on my face. It's because I'm uncomfortable. That was the worst thing I've ever experienced, and I'd rather do almost anything else.
Yeah. And, I mean, he was gone seconds. Like, maybe a minute after they turned off the machine. Like, he was well gone. I think there's I can't even hear it. Like, yeah, movies that have anything to do with the hospital, the beeping, the sound of, not that he had a defibrillator, but like hearing those things, I literally can't, because it's like, oh, someone's like literally about to probably just perish.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Anywho.
So,
I know when recording this, I keep turning this towards me so that way it picks up my audio better when I was talking.
No, that's fine. We'll have a better setup. Basically, I did everything right and researched, and we still fucked up. So whatever, this is our ghetto setup for today.
Well, we were going to have 2 mics, and then my laptop betrayed me, and something is stuck in my USB port, so that didn't help.
Well, we're reaching the hour mark.
I'm actually impressed that we filled it up with it. Yeah. Well, hopefully it wasn't too all over the place. I think it was I feel like it was pretty coherent in the grand scheme of things. It was a good introduction as to, like, why we are the way that we are, and things will make sense going forward from now, especially with how we view the world.
Yeah. What do you want to share for your last couple minutes? Is there anything?
Nothing that comes to mind immediately, no.
Well, we will be putting these out weekly. We have an email address. We have an Instagram, and we will have a TikTok here. So yeah, I'm excited. And if no one fucking listens to us, I'm immortalizing like our relationship at the very least.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel like there's a lot of things we can touch on, chat on, maybe unique perspectives. I know I'm guilty of this because I just feel like anything I ever want to do or start or create, I'm like, oh, it's so saturated, there's no point. Like, I felt that way with photography. I sometimes still feel that way with personal training. I feel that way with writing. I feel that way with art. I feel that way with every time I want to do something. I just feel like if my friend were saying this to me, I'd be like, bitch, just do it. So
I also feel like if we're even just telling some stories in our unique, no one has truly lived our crazy brand of life, despite our, we might have some correlation to other people. I think that we have enough to talk about that it's going to resonate with other people if they join. The crazy thing
also about the internet is that you think you had a unique experience, and it turns out you're not fucking special at all.
Right.
And it just turns out there's a
not
bunch
to
of
say
weirdos.
that. Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
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 I'm excited for this. I hope that if anyone does listen to this, that you found our story interesting, mildly humorous, maybe had a little bit of a teary eye, being like, oh wow, I had some crazy shit happen to me like this.
And you should, I like community. That's
honestly my biggest hope.
What do you want to hear from us? Like, what are you interested in? Like, what questions? Did someone show up with guns to your dad's funeral? Talk to us.
Right.
Let us fucking know. And yeah, let's just vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think signing off, I just want to say thanks for joining our crisis.
Yes. And don't forget that you should leave. Bye, guys.